Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Tangents, where we talk about books.
I read a book once.
I can't remember the last book I read. I mean, read is probably a loose term.
Listen, however.
But you know, it's taking in the information.
Yes.
But anyway, today's book, however you may absorb it, is The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, with some artwork I stole off the internet. And how did we all find it?
I liked it.
Oh, it's nice and short.
It was, wasn't it? It was concise. I liked it. It got its ideas across. It didn't waste any time. Not loads of characters with long, forever changing names. You know, with like Russian sounding things to them.
They didn't even have names. They just had like job assignments.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
There's like proper two named characters. No, there's actually only one named character.
Well, unless the guy's first name is Time and his surname is Traveler.
Yeah.
Then the Time Traveler would be. Yeah, I guess he could be from kind of Asian country where his first name is the. They. Distinct lack of accent. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, because I'm a sucker for tradition, let's talk. Let's have the author up. H.G. Wells. A little bit of info there about him. You know, like when he died and shit like
the Island of Dr. Moreau. They should turn it into a movie.
Yeah, I've watched. I've not watched the movie, but I've watched things about the movie, which, by all accounts, are more interesting than the movie.
Yes. Yes, it's a horrible shit show.
Despite it's had quite a few good people in it, but just it didn't translate. Because who was it who directed it?
Alan Smithy.
What was it? I thought it was someone else more famous.
Alan Smithy is the name of if you don't want to put your name on the movie.
Okay.
Up to Hollywood Burn, an Alan Smithy movie, which was so bad that it was also directed by Alan Smithy. But then they changed it. So it's an American Union thing, and American unions are.
We could always do. They could have always taken the Howard Hughes approach and just get every copy of the thing and burn it.
True.
Although in the modern age, it's probably harder to do that.
That is true.
I suppose you could do it back then. But yeah, and I've not seen many good interpretations of the Invisible Man.
There's a Paul Verhoeven version.
Is there a Chevy Chase version?
Probably, but you haven't seen him.
I don't know. There was one I can't remember. I just remember seeing it when I was young. And then obviously, War of the Worlds. I don't know, the Invisible Baseball version is the only film version I've seen.
Yeah, that's with Tom Cruise, right?
I hadn't realised about the baseball thing till you pointed it out.
Well, the thing is also that the aliens die because of a virus, which doesn't make sense. Because in the original, they die of a bacteria, or at least the 1950s movie version. Which does
it's the
make
same
sense.
kind of principle, though. It's the same principle, though, isn't it?
Well, no, the virus can't replicate because they don't have DNA, but of course you get eaten alive by the bacteria, who are actually quite aggressive.
You know, it gives you that little setup, doesn't it, with the girl with the splinter?
Probably.
That film. Anyway, yeah. And but yeah, I like the musical. The musical was fun. I've got it on vinyl.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Sort it out, and I've got it on Super Audio CD.
70s were wild. Did you know that David Bowie was planning to make a 1984 musical, and that got aborted. So he put some songs on the album Diamond Dogs.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Rubbed it.
Well, it'd have been interesting.
Hmm.
I always wanted to make a musical of the film Brain Dead.
Hmm.
You should help me one day.
One day.
We could, because the film broke the record for having the most fake blood.
Well, fairly.
So I think you could have a musical. You'd have to like gear it up so you could dump gallons of fake blood on stage, and I think the technical thing of being able to recycle it and clean up quickly.
Yeah.
It has to follow the doctrine of Alan Menken, who made all the Disney movies, that you have at least an I want and an I am song. So like in Beauty and the Beast, it opens with that Bella's singing, and that's an I am song, and then you have Gaston, and he has his I want song, which is he wants Belle, and that sets up the whole thing. And if you just look at all those Disney movies from that time, then you see that they all have an I want and an I am song.
Right.
And sometimes it swaps between the antagonist and the protagonist.
I suppose. I suppose it'd work either way, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I know my favourite line from Brain Dead is, "Yeah, Mama ate my dog." Not all of it.
That could be your third act opener, right?
Yeah. It'd have to be. That's quite late on in it, I suppose. And the weird zombie baby thing that he ends up kicking around like a football. But yeah, there's good little things like when he shoves the baby in the blender, and as it's going in the blender, it gives him the finger. Just little things like that, and the intestines that are crawling across the floor when he goes to hit it with the lawnmower.
From the director of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He did make this movie, which is called, I think, Shooting Silver. It was a mockumentary about the New Zealand movie industry that was way ahead of Hollywood. You have these brothers who were they invented flight before the White Brothers, and they accidentally, because they used some berries, made the first color movie. But then because a naked native woman walked past, it was also the first porno and stuff like that. So it's accidental.
I've got a very irrational dislike. Well, I suppose it's not irrational. I've got a very over dislike of the Wright brothers.
Shouldn't have taken off it, and ungodly or what?
Well, no, I feel like there's probably other people on the verge of flying, and they kind of did it and basically held aviation up for about however many years they held it up for.
Well, luckily we had a war to remedy that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, apparently H.G. Wells was a pacifist and a socialist, which makes me like him a little bit less.
Well, considering communism has been mentioned several times in this book, and the aspiration towards it,
I don't mind pacifists as much because they usually don't like war. But the socialist part, like he's one of those. It's like, okay, what would happen if you take the communist utopia and just keep it evolving among Darwinian lines? Where would you end? And again, it's horrible, like anything.
Yeah, well, according to his wiki, he's a big fan of Darwin.
Well, obviously, that's clear from this book.
Yeah. The way one thing leads to another. I thought it's quite apt. Was the whole good times and bad times, all that kind of good stuff. Leading to rings true for today's society.
Yeah, and I guess he's also into astrophysics, so.
Yeah, and he wasn't a doctor. I think that many the people we've read recently seem to have been a doctor of sorts. Fed up with these midwit doctors.
It's Herbert George Wells. Okay.
Herbert, is it?
Yes.
I just thought Herbert sounds like a good insult. You Herbert.
I don't know. It is an English name, so.
Yeah, it's fallen out of fashion. I don't. My sister had a dog called Herbert once, but I've never known anybody called Herbert. But yeah, and of the things that he foresaw in his literature, we have aircrafts, tanks, space travel, nuclear weapons, and satellite television. And was it something else was also alluded to the internet apparently, but I don't know which book that was.
Well, I think he did nicely predict how a lot of time travel movies work. So while his way of time traveling is odd, he already contemplates about the fact like, okay, if I travel forward in time, shouldn't I be there constantly, like frozen in time? But he gets around that by just making everything invisible. So he has this time travel with this notion that there's a mechanic behind time traveling.
Yeah.
That's usually like something that if somebody makes a sequel somewhere, they forget about this. Terminator franchise is famous for that. Like can you shoot your own grandfather? But he doesn't go there, or maybe he doesn't. That's maybe why he doesn't return. So
yeah, he kind of stays away from it a bit. But then you got to think like if his time travel worked, I don't know, like it must be the case that it doesn't spread, like nobody else finds out about it, because if it did, presumably other people would be able to replicate it, and then you would have seen other time travelers. You know, I don't know.
Time travel.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing as there's not many people in this book, I've kind of done it like this. So there you go.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen this old version of the film, but it looks quite amusing from the.
It's actually quite good for a 1960s film, but it has a pretty good special effects for all practical, of course.
Yeah, I mean the Morlocks aren't quite what I envisaged. Yeah, if that picture's anything to go by. Not that I've seen the film, but or Wiener for that matter. I kind of envisaged it being more like a slightly more attractive.
Child.
No, like I don't know. Yeah, like a less grotesque Gollum, I suppose. Kind of skinny and like weird, a bit like an alien from one of these smooth kind of like sexless alien things,
yeah. Like androgynous.
Yeah, that's kind of what I imagined, but not as grey.
Yeah.
But and I thought the way that a lot of the guests were portrayed was quite interesting. Like the different takes the different people had. The journalist didn't surprise me.
Yeah, the journalist was very much a midwit.
Yeah, you can have a dim view of journalists.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So, what did we think about the whole setup for the story?
Oh,
yeah, I thought it was
kind of showing off, wasn't he? Look, I made this invention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's obviously gathered around some people of with different kind of takes on and angles. More kind of religious-y or more academic, or more kind of story sensationalist kind of based. But yeah, and obviously the narrator doesn't seem to have a lot of opinions on it. But yeah, any other Thoughts on the other minor characters?
I think they're just there to fill a dinner party and just answer questions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would have
Yeah.
lots more of personality. So
Yeah. Also, it keeps it kind of grounded in like a present day kind of thought, if you will. So
yeah.
it's all fantastical for the majority of the book, but then when it brings it back from like the beginning and the end with these guys, it kind of grounds it all. And I do like how in the end, the time traveler with all of these people around at his place, he starts to question himself if it was a dream or not. So I like that.
Yeah, well, this could be like he had a really rough night, and that's why he's covered with everything. And just that this is like a story you would tell you, like, oh yeah, this happened, and like that, just blow it up, just to cover the fact that you were drunk and slept in the bush somewhere.
Yeah, well, from his point of view, it happened over a long time, but from the guests, I suppose it was pretty much instantaneous, wasn't it? Well, not instantaneous. It was. Well, how long was it between when he goes out and comes back in?
I think he says he's gone for 3 days, but actually he's gone for 8.
Yeah, but you think if you were going to time travel, you'd just come back in, like it would almost be within, instantaneous. You would disappear.
Well, yeah, he does have a bit of an engineering problem, of course. He has to make a mechanism to control this time travel. So it's supposed to be able to go fast, but you are also asking it to be precise. And this is an engineering trade-off what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that he covered, some of the questions, like, reappearing in like a wall or something, or didn't quite get through how he'd solve that problem. Like if you were in a basement, the chances of that basement being there, or he doesn't quite satisfy that, does he?
Mm-hmm. No, also his time machine has moved apparently quite far into a Sphinx in the future, but it just moves to the other side of his apparently gigantic laboratory. Like, okay, maybe it has to do with the expansion of the universe. I don't know, but
yeah, I like the way it it's what was that? I like the way it kind of describes what it feels like when it's actually moving through time. It paints quite a good picture, with the everything, the way everything speeds up, and it's a blur. It's almost like it's a like a painting as it kind of moves.
oh yeah, but that makes it a really good story. It actually mechanically the whole thing seems to be sound. Like, okay, how does this work? And okay, assuming that he made a machine, that would be kind of your observation. Of course, if you would slow down, then the frequency of the light would change because the incoming speed of light would differ. So it probably all turn into heavy X-rays. But yeah, well, this was way before. This was, I think, before Einstein came up with his theories. And even then it would probably take a while. But I'm quite sure that H.G. Wells would be well aware of these scientific facts.
Well, it's good because there's just enough detail to kind of make it believable, but he doesn't get into the weeds too much to get bogged down.
That's a trick. You have to. Telling a good story is to put in a lot of facts which are plausible, but not tell any facts which people would say, well, oh no, that's not true. It's like this somebody, he tells stuff. Yeah, I'm agree with that. I agree with that. And in the end, he comes up with some quack theory. It's wrong, and then okay, no, he's an idiot, and then that discredits everything he said before. And so if you do that in a story, and then you add one thing which is really hard to believe, then you also reject the rest. But Wells doesn't do this. He seems to be able to navigate around it. All of it seems to be like, okay, that's kind of plausible, and that enables him to sell the fantastical parts, which is not verifiable, because who knows what happens 80,000 years or 800,000 years in the future.
Yeah, it's
it might have solved the energy crisis.
Yeah, or just kind of risen above the need for energy, I guess. It doesn't.
Nah. Nah, it's never enough.
Because they're not using any electric or anything in the story, are they?
Oh,
They're just kind of living like, I don't know, carefree. They've just created a utopia, I guess, but like a utopia that's, I don't know, it's their need for anything that's been removed as opposed to satisfying their needs, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
Well, they have their every need satisfied, but in turn they're food for the other classes.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good system. It's a good system.
Also, found it interesting how when it's talking about the Morlocks, there's a mention of moving machinery, but it's never really expanded upon with them. It's like the Morlocks keep something running, but it's never alluded to.
Yeah, well, it kind of gives the impression that they're making like the clothes and things for the all like the how do you say it? Yoli.
Eoli, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. The I don't know. It might have been something that was running once upon a time that isn't running anymore, or he's running but not really doing much. I mean, there's the fruit that they eat that doesn't really need much. I guess I don't know if they've developed strains of food that don't require much attention.
Well, they turned the whole Earth into the Garden of Eden.
Mm. Yeah, you can't really imagine London being much of an Eden, can you?
Mm.
They'd have to, get rid of all the knives.
You would literally have to burn it all down to start fresh.
Yeah, which I guess might have happened at some point, seeing as
Mhm.
there's not a lot left there, is there? Mm. But yeah, and I like the just the way it's exploring kind of society and the way that society could go.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting as well. I like that. There's quite a lot of I don't know, like abstract, but like kind of poetic, I suppose, things with the actual travel and the way the way that it kind of looked and while it was happening,
Yeah.
with everything, the painting of the sun and all that kind of stuff. And then then it gets more into the sociological, that word I can't say, with the
Sociologically.
yes, with the with the Morlocks and the Eoli and the way civilization is headed. I quite like that kind of thing because where is it headed? It was quite considering when it was written. It's quite a long time before things really start to hit the stride. Technologically speaking and stuff.
Oh, they're already worried about Malthusian effects and things like that. I guess eugenics was coming up around that time.
Gen X, yeah.
Well, if you keep selecting for a certain trait, you end up with really, really different creatures.
Mm. I mean, the Malthusian kind of mindset has been there since like I don't know, 1700s maybe.
Yeah, since that preacher wrote something. Yeah.
Mm. I mean, out of the books we've read, it was there in Frankenstein, and I don't know what was an older book that we read. I don't know, but yeah, it was definitely there in Frankenstein, wasn't it? I think that's probably one of the oldest ones.
Oh, the thing is that it didn't happen because I think 1 out of 7 people who ever lived are currently alive. That's how much of a population explosion we had in the past 50 years.
Mm. Yeah, but it doesn't. Well, if we have a problem, it's not the ability, is it? It's things getting in the way. But yeah, I don't know. Everything's solvable, I guess. So yeah, anybody got anything to add?
Nothing really, no.
I suppose it's
Are-
just the shortness and the conciseness of the book.
Aren't we all
it's,
time travelers in some sense?
well, we are all moving through time.
Right. Next slide. Or did you
Next
only do
slide.
one slide? Did you only do one slide?
I just did one slide for the characters, seeing as
There aren't many characters actually. You
Yeah.
mainly have the narrator who meets some people, and then it's a very what do you call it? Linear plot with a single person, just somebody telling a story.
yeah. And that person being the time traveler. I like that he kind of made it so he didn't want people interrupting him, so you didn't break up the story with these various guests. I mean that could have been something that if they made it now, like as a TV show or something, that's definitely what would happen. You'd get some irritating journalist type butting in, but wouldn't this be and kind of it stopped that dead, didn't it, by putting that kind of clause in there. Yeah, no, I did. I don't know what I was expecting, because I never seen any adaptations or read it or anything. It was good. It was pleasant to read. The way it had been executed, it was all very good.
The Morlock and Eloy ploy is entertaining, but I think the part after that, when he goes even further into the future, that's where he basically you have giant red crabs,
Yes.
giant butterflies. Like I don't know
Everything
where he
become
got his
crab.
LSD, but basically everything was crab, everything is crab, and crab will be the only life form that survives. And like well, there's some sense in it because basically there are multiple creatures which are not related, but they all look like crabs or lobsters. It's one of these like evolutionary what do you call it, optimums, where they're being reached by multiple paths.
I suppose if you're looking at it from a modern lens, it could be an environmental commentary on carbon dioxide, seeing as that's kind of what shells are made of.
Yeah, but also given the fact that the book acknowledges that the sun will burn out one day is actually also something that if you think about it is a relatively modern idea, because before that it was like, okay, yeah, the sun has been created and in one go and probably will stay there until God deems that it should no longer be there. And
it's the idea that the sun's the sun's expanding, is it? Is that what he was
yeah,
implying?
it's expanding and growing dimmer and
pulling the Earth into it.
Yeah, probably what will happen is that the sun will expand up to the point that it actually will swallow the Earth. So it's not what's happening as he predicted, because he kind of thinks it burns out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of need modern physics in order to more accurately predict what's going on. Because if you don't know how nuclear fusion and nuclear fission works, then it's a kind of mystery how the sun actually produces heat. Because it's not fuel burning. The sun actually doesn't burn. It just emits heat.
Yeah, I had another thought on that, but I forgot what it was. Anyway. But yeah, no, that was yeah, I liked the way. I mean, did it the fact that if the Earth was in that kind of condition, like he wouldn't have been able to survive. That was kind of one thing that I kind of was thinking while I was reading it.
What did lack of vegetation and everything?
Well, presumably the planet would have been, I don't know, the gases present in the atmosphere would have drastically changed, in that kind of scenario. You know, I don't know, or it would have been, the atmosphere would have changed. Is what I would have kind of thought in that circumstance. But then again, if the crabby things are alive, I don't know. Maybe it was similar. But that's like I say, he refrains from getting into the weeds, doesn't he? Which is good.
Yeah, it keeps the story and narrative going.
Nice and flowy. So yeah. Anything to add on towards the end of it after the whole Morlock Wiener side of things?
I like how even though it's over the expense of 8 days that he's in this future and he's grown attached to Weena, and that he finally gives into that element of rage and anger from losing Weena. So that's nice to see that, you know, the main character doesn't either stick to their morals and actually lashes out. So it's nice to see something of that in a protagonist.
Yeah, he's got a real dislike of the Morlocks, hasn't he? He's you know, they must be pretty grotesque. You know, I don't know what
He just hates the working man and how they leech upon the elites.
Yeah.
And so I think this is this book is basically a precursor to Atlas Shrugged.
I mean,
he was striving for communism, and then he found it, and he went, "I don't like it."
No, not that kind of communism.
Yeah, different kind.
Luxury space communism, where the working class eats you, literally.
Yeah, we can't rely on the working class to rise up. You know, we'll just put them underground and let them make our iPhones. But yeah, that is a good commentary on the elites. Well, yeah, and yeah, the direction that they're going, I suppose, as opposed to where they're at. But then one can argue that it's not too dissimilar. You know, it's a bit like that. The who will make my prep? Who will? I don't know. Who will make my tunics? Yeah. Because that's it's basically all the Morlocks do, is it? I mean, I don't really. Presumably they'd have done more at some point.
I think they work and eat.
Yeah, it's a good exchange, isn't it? You know, we'll do stuff for you, and every now and again we'll just come and eat a few of you. But yeah, they can't have been much of a mouthful. What on earth was that? So yeah, are we happy with that then? Is there anything else?
For it being such a short book, there's not much to glean from it.
No, but I don't know. Yeah, like I say, it just felt very concise and got to the point. You know, with its commentary on society, basically, and the direction it's headed, taken to an extreme, but obviously it's still kind of, you know, there's you can still kind of make more, you know, nearer predictions. You know, can be gleaned from it, I guess. You know, of where he thought things were heading. I mean, considering he's a socialist, yeah, he doesn't seem to have a very good, you know, he seems to have a pretty dim view of the workers, little goblins who.
Well, at least he got the elites correct, like being spoiled little children.
Yeah, just giggling at everything that amuses them, and everything amuses them. Right. Are we happy with that?
Yep.
Nothing to add? Right, cool. So, next up will be Murder on the Orient Express. Is everyone happy with that one?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
As Agatha Christie goes, or is there?
I don't know. I've never read anything from Agatha Christie.
No, and written a lot of books, so I figured it'd be nice to read one of them. And everyone likes trains.
We should do a book with boats.
Yeah, I was trying to stay away from boats, although I'm sure the Nile one probably doesn't relay the whole boat thing on too heavily.
What Nile one?
Death on the Nile.
Oh, right.
And there's a film just come out about that.
Yeah, it's got Gal Gadot in.
Who?
The Wonder Woman actress.
Ah, has it now? Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she's easy on the eye, I suppose.
Yeah, if you turn off the sound.
She's what?
Yeah, you turn off the sound.
I mean, I didn't mind the first Wonder Woman film. I
It was all right.
Yeah.
Second one, however, no.
I've not seen it. I've kind of yeah. I do enjoy the 80s aesthetic, but just member berries for people who don't remember it. I guess I'm not really sure. I think most the millennials and stuff they were old enough to appreciate the 80s. I guess. I still enjoy the aesthetic though. Everyone likes neons and lasers and synth music. I think
How do we know it's the 80s? Use Blue Monday.
Yeah. Be like Tron.
Yeah.
There's that and Sweet Dreams. That's always a good one.
Yeah.
From the Eurythmics, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not the Marilyn Manson
I
version.
remember when I was young and I saw that video clip and I went, short red hair can be sexy.
Yeah, she did. She enjoyed the androgynous. Although that, of course, got it banned in America, didn't it?
It did?
Yeah. The video for Sweet Dreams was banned in America at the time.
Okay.
I think they took offence to her androgynous appearance and thought she was trying to be a bit of a lesbian or something, I guess. But the Americans back then were a bit funny, weren't they? Unless it was just a ploy to make it more famous. I mean, it worked for Metallica, didn't it? We did. I mean, was it the band, the first album, and that's what kind of propelled them to,
kill them all.
Notoriety. I suppose that's one way to get stuff banned in America at that time.
There are that there are plenty of artists who never get noticed, so sometimes you need a bit of controversy.
Yeah, it's like with the whole parental advisory sticker. Frank Zappa, NWA, Cannibal Corpse all got the extra push to fame and glory.
You want to have your movies, for example, that's a bit that's just a bit risque, so all the teenagers like it.
Yeah, and then if it gets banned or gets some kind of something a bit more some kind of edgy thing that happens, that always helps as well. So do you ever watch the TV show Vinyl?
No.
It had it was about the music industry in the 80s, no 70s, could be the 70s. It has like a rip-off of Elton John in it, and a rip-off of Bowie, and Mick Jagger's son is in it, and he plays the singer of some punk band. And but anyway, the manager of the punk band arranges for them to all be arrested while after the first song when they're still on stage. It makes them super famous.
Isn't it basically the Sex Pistols as a marketing model?
Yeah, did they ever get arrested on stage?
Don't think so. They've been booted off stage.
There's
Yeah.
this urban legend about this guy who basically destroyed his TV after seeing them.
Destroyed his what?
TV, and after seeing the God Save the Queen or whatever, that he basically smashed his own TV because he was so angry.
Well, and they were worth more back then.
Do you like
Yeah,
the little story about the Sex Pistols is gets signed to a record deal, found that they're a little bit too hot, but they got paid their full lump sum and didn't have to pay any back, and then got signed for twice as much from the second record label.
That's good if you get twofer.
And then the number one single, God Save the Queen, got almost shadow banned because you couldn't tell he was number one during that month. Kind of like the current number one that no one wants to talk about. Prince Andrew is a sweaty nonce by the cunts.
Oh, the cunts with a K.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. They've had that must be their second top 40 because they got top 40 last time, didn't they?
Yeah, this rocketed it all the way up, and for some reason they're not showing it. I was like, why not?
And obviously he got COVID, which was a bit lucky for him, wasn't it? Or lucky for someone. But yeah, Cunt and the Gang are amusing.
I just seeing that basically the plot of Broken Arrow has come to fruition.
Broken Arrow?
Yeah, the John Travolta movie.
I don't remember that one.
Ah, okay, yeah. Oh, your 90s movies, Quack House.
I'll go and have a look for it. I would have thought I would have seen it. I've been binging a lot of 90s films. It is the height of cinema. Would you agree with that? 90s height of cinema?
Well, yeah. Basically, the whole 60s to 90s arc is the height of culture, and after that, it diminished. Just think about how long the Queen has been in power, that the Beatles were making songs about her.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Beatles.
No?
Oh. No. I appreciate that they did some stuff that was groundbreaking, but yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just I can't stand Paul McCartney. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
He's and now he's just like totally cringe, and that stupid bitch ex-wife of his trying to flog everybody fake meat as well. That's could do without that. Did you see her thing that she did talking about her fake meat that she's trying to flog with talking to Jordan Peterson's daughter? Well, on the stage with her.
No.
Jordan Peterson's daughter, the one who doesn't eat fake vegetables.
She doesn't eat fake vegetables.
They only ate for a while. She only ate steak.
Yes.
Yeah, which is just as insane, but okay.
Well, whatever works. I mean, it didn't make her legs grow back, did it? Not sure it was supposed to. That's what you get for going to Hollywood.
Yeah.
It corrupts you.
Ideas. Makes you turn into a vegan. Never a good thing. Any more tangents you want to discuss?
Well, you remember Scott Pilgrim Against the World, that movie?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that. Who was it who directed that?
Oh, it's I forgot his name, but I know he would originally also direct I think it's a direct Ant-Man, but he got taken off because he, of course, wanted to.
It's not Gunn, is it?
But in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, it's Edgar Wright. They actually make jokes about vegans and the vegan police, and that your vegan superpowers get taken away if you make 3 transgressions.
Yeah, well, back in my day, it was good enough just to be a vegetarian. That was deserved of mockery. And now being a vegetarian, I mean, is anybody a vegetarian anymore, or did you just have to jump straight to veganism?
Well, yeah, well, people talk about having B12 analogs and stuff like that, and I'm going like, yeah, but even if you have them, you still have to eat a ridiculous amount of nuts just to get your proteins.
And all proteins are not made equal. I don't believe eating nuts, no matter how many you eat, is going to give you the right kind of protein.
Yeah, it's like I have 1 egg here, and you need to eat 500 grams of nuts, maybe even more, just to get that same amount of protein.
Well, you have to get 9 different kind of amino acids. Also, this is not food advice, so anybody who goes to the stream for food advice, please go somewhere else. There goes our only viewer. So there are 9 proteins or amino acids which you need to get in order to survive, and I think you could get them from. I think if you combine beans and rice, you get all 9 of them, but you have to really mix and match all different kind of vegetables to get them. While if you eat meat, you get all of them. So.
And plus, you would have to spend a lot of time on the toilet.
Yeah, of course, because it's healthy, of course.
I know people who work with vegans. They tell me that they go to the toilet a lot. It's got to be they're very windy creatures. But yeah, I'm back on the steaks, so I bought a large number of steaks the other week. So for every steak a vegan doesn't eat, I'll eat one. It's fine. I don't mind doing it. I'm happy to do it. I've also perfected the art of cooking them now. I think I was advised by someone not to use butter to cook.
Why?
So you lard everything in butter like a good Frenchman?
No, don't use anything. Just use the steak. Don't just let its own.
Well, if you have a
content.
non-stick fan, well, yeah. Well, the problem is that you might not get enough heat into your steak. But then again, who likes a well-done steak anyway? So.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, it is better slightly rare. I don't know. I'm not big into rare, but slightly rare is good. Just on a lower heat, on its own juices. Yeah.
You're not a Liver King enthusiast then, so.
I like the idea of head to tail, but I just can't bring myself to eat liver and kidney. I just can't do it.
Oh, liver is nice.
Yeah, maybe it is, but I just can't bring myself to do it.
And I think I've eaten kidney before as well. Tongue is also really nice. But then again, I've been to France, so I eat all kind of weird stuff.
Do you eat anything? Yeah, let's face it. I mean, tongue. I've had tongue. Tongue's fine. It's just the thought of it, really. But yeah, liver and kidney, no, and kidney especially, no. I mean, if anybody ever gives me a steak pie and they sneak some kidney in there, it's like a steak and kidney pie. It's like, ugh, I can smell it. It's just, horrible taste, horrible.
But it's
texture,
good for you.
Horrible smell. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, no, I do like the idea of head to tail, but no. I don't. I mean, does it work if you put it in like a slow cooker and just slow cooker the shit out of it?
Well, if you just mince everything together and turn it into a sausage, you probably like it. Just put it in some intestine, and then you have traditional sausage. That's what you do with chunks that are left over. You turn it into sausage.
Mm-hmm.
Because people say, "Oh, that's such a waste animal," but nothing of an animal is wasted. We use everything, every little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we use it to make fertilizer as well, obviously.
Well, you can turn it into animal feed.
I know, and there's that. Feeding cows cows. You know what happened in The Simpsons?
Well, it happens in real life.
What? Cows go crazy and kill everyone.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that happening. Yeah, that was a crazy time. Not as it wasn't as fun as Foot-and-Mouth. That was fun. I spent weeks pressure washing wagons. Cool. Oh well. Anyway, any more cooking tips while we're on with it?
Nope.
No. I think I'm getting to the end of my repertoire.
Well, I can highly advise eating steak. It's good. It's good. Anyway, so yes, next up is Murder on the Orient Express. So that's that. Right, we'll sign off. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Oi.
Bye.